FJB Films, Daniel Baxter. Yo, welcome to another stream. How goes it? Speak softly. Jar Jar, I must say you're here sooner than expected. Really? I thought I was here later than expected. Alright. Let's see. Oh, I totally forgot to add Brandon Chase to... I need to edit that video. Alright. I also need to cut that. We're going to be writing a script. I would like you all to help me. Help me! So, this is what I got so far. I want to try and make the tragedy of Darth Osha the Wise. Or maybe Darth Osha the Witch. Darth Osha the Acolyte. It's a witch legend. ATD said, yo, what's going on, ATD? Says, Jar Jar, why did you give Palpatine emergency powers? Well, he was my apprentice, and I wanted him to rule the galaxy for me, so naturally he's gotta be in charge of things, so I had the Senate grant him emergency powers. Super Count Dooku gifted 5 Jar Jar Studios Plus memberships. Thank you very much, Super Count Dooku. Ooh, looks like Camera Courtney and Spirit Halloween got their... And ITZ Tornado, they all got their memberships again. And the Chosen One. Osha the Wise, Osha the Fool! Yes. So, I would like your assistance with you can be involved with this next video. Assist in the writing of this. I'm going to do the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise, but I'm going to use the Palpatine voice that I cloned to make the tragedy of Darth Osha. The idea behind it is somebody told me the other day that the writers of the Acolyte might plan to make Osha Darth Plagueis, that they might retcon the story so that Darth Plagueis is either Osha is Darth Plagueis or she was the one who ended up being Darth Plagueis' master. So she teaches him how the space lesbian witches created her, and then him and Palpatine create Anakin. ATD says, by the way, I got a Lego Jar Jar. I will make a video with him on my channel. A Lego Jar Jar? Oh, hold on. I need the Lego. There it is. Lego Jar Jar. ATD says Darth Osha sued the Jedi Council for not granting Anakin the rank of Master. Unacceptable. Daniel Douglas's Lego Jar Jar is so beautiful. That he is. Did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth Osha the Acolyte? I thought not. It's no story the Jedi would tell you. It's a witch legend. Darth Osha was a Jedi. He flunked out of the Jedi Academy. That doesn't flow. That doesn't flow. Jedi Obi-Wan Kenobi says, Neo blocked me for some reason a while ago. I guess I can't see his memberships. Colin4486, hello. It's good to see you here, Colin. Thank you very much for the recent super thanks. He says, Annie was a master. Vader. No. ATD says, if you have a chance, can you please watch it? Hopefully you didn't put any copyrighted music in it. Otherwise, I'm not watching it. WA says, is Smiler Ren the best Disney Star Wars creation? The best so far. I don't think they can get better than what they've already done. What are the predictions, everyone? What are the predictions? Make your predictions. Episode, what? Episode 7's about to come out, right? What's going to happen in the Acolyte episode 7? Who's going to survive till the end? Can anyone tell me who's going to survive till the end? Obviously the Jedi characters have to die. Or maybe they don't. Maybe it turns out the Light Whip lady might actually be a bad guy. So maybe she'll survive and everyone else that was involved will end up getting killed. The big plot twist will be Master Green Bean is the big bad. That's the plot twist. Oh, WA. Yes, it's the flashback is what's coming up next. Triple J says predictions for what? Predictions for the Acolyte. The 7th episode is coming out tonight. Super Count Dooku says, still haven't finished episode 3 since I literally just don't care about it anymore. Well, I totally understand that. I understand it very, very well. I'm only watching it because I have to. I have no choice. Because there could be a meme that I can exploit. So, and if there is, then I gotta make a video about it. But if it ends up being super boring, then I just won't make anything. Colin4486 says, couldn't care less. They've accomplished my utter apathy. I only care about Lucas, Star Wars, and memeing on Disney now. Yeah, that's how I've been feeling about it. I didn't even think it was possible. Every single Star Wars show, I'm kind of like hoping for a little something. I'm like, maybe they'll put together something that might be fun, and they just somehow are able to subvert my expectations again and bring the bar even lower than it was before. Bingus says, hey Jar Jar. Hi chat. Hey, how's it going, Bingus? Mystic Troll says, Episode 7 is gonna have a boxing match between Wookiee and Torben time. Venestra is Kamir's former master. Maybe. Darth Tenebris or Plagueis is gonna get Rian Johnson. Uh-oh. This is Darth Plagueis the Wise. It's a Sith legend. Darth Plagueis. You're gonna find out. So, Palpatine's telling the story to Anakin of Darth Plagueis the Wise, and it's like a Sith. It's a Sith legend. It's really mysterious, very interesting story. And then they're gonna do the same thing that they did with like Sam Jackson's character and how he lost his eye. It's gonna be like something so incredibly stupid. They're gonna turn it into something that's so incredibly stupid that you just look at Palpatine in Revenge of the Sith and you just laugh. Speak Softly says, I low-key stopped watching Star Wars after Boba. Only one I gave a damn about was Andor because it's actually decent written and fun to watch. Yeah, I agree with that, generally. I think that I feel like, me personally, I think Andor suffers from a bit of pacing issues. I feel like some aspects of it, they spend like way too much time like looking at some of the nice places that they go to, and there's I don't know, I just remember when I was watching it, like there were certain parts of it I was just bored because I was like, I don't really care what's happening on screen. So, but ultimately it is well written, and I think that if most of the Disney shows were like Andor, then I wouldn't really have anything to complain about. And everything that I would have to complain about would be minor things. It wouldn't be that big a deal, and I would be enjoying Star Wars for what it is for the most part. Wah says, her putting on the Smilo helmet at the end felt like good horror movie setup. Her putting on the helmet at the end made me think of Five Nights at Freddy's 2. When she puts it on her head and she can't see anything and she's breathing really heavy. I was like, what is this? We got another Five Nights at Freddy's moment here. Colin says, Kenobi was the very last straw for me. Now it's Star Wars against them because they've assassinated all the characters I love. Let the past die. Kill them if you have to. Yes. Yeah, the Kenobi show was like it was already bad before that, but like Kenobi show was like a whole new level of terrible. And somehow they were able to create another show that in some ways is worse, but I dislike the Kenobi show more than the Ahsoka show simply because it deals with one of the most important characters in Star Wars, and Ahsoka is not as important, and it also happens after, like, that show happens after the George Lucas Star Wars, so I care less about what happens because I can just forget about it. Like, the sequels, they happen after the actual canon Star Wars movies, and so I can just forget about them. But with something like the Kenobi show, it's smack dab in the middle of canon, which is why it's really annoying that it actually exists. Daniel Douglas says, I hope Osha is not Darth Plagueis. It would just utterly destroy Star Wars canon that it would. Any more than it already has been, perhaps? Colin says, Boba was an abomination. Andor was the best they've done, but that's not saying much. It's a spy thriller shoved into Star Wars. Yeah, Boba Fett show was... I'll say it. I said it before. I'll say it again. Boba Fett had me going the first 2 episodes, and then they just lost the plot. Like, just all kinds of random stupid things happened, and they brought in all kinds of like goofy stuff, and then also like the entire part of him wanting to be the crime lord of Tatooine is just so ridiculous, because there's nothing about him that would make him want to, you know, become like the head of a crime family or something. That's just nonsense, I think. He described himself when he's reintroduced in Mandalorian. He describes himself as just a simple man making my way through the universe like my father before me. Okay, a simple man making his way through the universe does not try to become the head of a crime family on Tatooine. Okay, A simple man making his way through the universe continues to be like a badass bounty hunter like he was before. And then maybe he has, I mean, they could have in his show given him some kind of identity crisis or something where like he wants to leave a legacy like his father, and so he tries to get like a hold of perhaps more like cloning technology or whatever so that he can clone himself again and he can continue the legacy of his father, which is him. I mean, essentially he's basically the same thing. Like Boba Fett is almost exactly the same as his dad. He's an exact clone. And so realistically, he'd probably want to do the same thing his dad did and create another clone of himself. Colin says they should have started with Andor's heist, then the first episode would have the hook. Yeah, I think so. I think Andor started off way too slow, and then his flashbacks to when he was younger were, I don't know, I think they were kind of lame. Emil says, like, when I was watching the flashbacks of Andor, I honestly felt like most of my time was being wasted. Like, they spent way too much time with those kids. We didn't need the Andor flashbacks, really, because, like, nothing really consequential happened for the plot, and none of it was really important. None of the things that happened to them were really all that important. Like, they could have been quick flashbacks, kind of like Rey's visions. They lasted for, like, 30 seconds to a minute, but they had like entire sections of episodes of Andor dedicated to flashbacks of when he was a child, wandering around, you know, doing nothing. So, totally unimportant. Emil says, I'm just another millennial who's stuck on the prequels, haven't really cared about any of the new stuff after that. The OT are like revered historical films. Yes, they're the legendary stories. Mystic Troll says, my favorite part of the Boba Fett show was when the Power Rangers mobility scooters engaged in a 5-mile-per-hour chase when Boba has a jetpack the entire time. Yeah, that was another thing. Boba Fett, for no apparent reason at all, decided not to use a lot of the weapons and the things. There were so many things that he had at his disposal, and he just chooses not to use them, and it's just bad writing. That's what it is. Like, it would have been super easy for Boba Fett to just fly after him and catch him. Super easy. Triple J says, my prediction is that whoever OSHA is will start a construction safety company we use to learn safety aspects of construction today. That's probably you're probably onto something there. Speak Softly says, the Boba was the bounty hunter, the ultimate killer. He was always up for quick jobs that were difficult, but could make him credits and get him fame. That would have made an exciting Boba Fett show. Giving Boba Fett really hard jobs and seeing him pull through each time. Super Count Dooku says, I personally liked the slowness of Andor, but that could easily have just been me. The flashbacks were a bit much, though. Well, it's... With the slowness, certain aspects of it are fine. Like in the Kenobi show, the first 2 episodes of him in his life on Tatooine, that was okay. If the rest of the show was good, I think that nobody would have minded stuff like that. And same thing with Andor. I think a lot of the slower parts are okay. They're not egregious like a lot of the other shows, like for example the 5-minute scene in Ahsoka where she's wandering around in that temple, and then she crumbles the dirt and finds the golden ball that allows you to locate, I guess, anyone you want. So it's not as bad in Andor, but I just thought when I was watching it, a lot of the times when I was watching it, when I was watching Andor, I could just walk away from the screen. I could listen, because a lot of times characters would be sitting and not really doing very much. And so I could wash dishes, or I could do something else. And then I would hear things start to happen, and then I could go over and I could check out what's happening. And so I think there, maybe it's like an editing issue or something. They probably could have sped some of that up. But that's one of the things they do with shows. It's kind of become like an accepted and expected thing, is that shows have lots of empty moments where literally nothing is happening, and you should just accept that that's the case and just waste your time. An extra 5 minutes you lose that didn't even need to be in the show. They did that in the Ahsoka show by way too much. There's so many moments in the Ahsoka show that are totally overblown, totally unnecessary. VDGT says, when Pop-Up Helps podcast, I'm a fan. The Pop-Up Helps podcast should return, I think, pretty soon. I plan the next one, I think, is going to be General Grievous. I think General Grievous is going to be on the Pop-Up Helps podcast next. But the thing is, I need to figure out like the questions Palpatine's going to ask. You know, how the podcast is going to go. Daniel Douglas says, I think the lady directors of The Acolyte named the main characters May and Osha after a perfume company. Is there a perfume company called May and Osha? WA says, Book of Boba made Jabba's palace so empty and sterile. Should have just made a series based on tales from Jabba's palace book. Yeah, that was another thing that was so weird, was Jabba's palace. Jabba's palace had nobody in it. It was almost like almost everyone died in the barge. Everyone just exploded in the barge, and then nobody filled up Jabba's palace. You would think if a big gangster died, and that's another thing that didn't make sense, like why Bib Fortuna was there. Look, Bib Fortuna was also on the barge that exploded, as well as Max Rebo. They were both on the barge when it exploded. And so why those characters are alive in the first place doesn't make sense. And then in addition to that, the Hutts show up when Boba Fett happens to be there. They should have showed up a long time ago. As soon as Jabba the Hutt was confirmed dead, and they knew he was dead, there should have been another Hutt that went to Tatooine to take over the operation, you know, the crime operations that were happening on Tatooine. That should have been the very first thing. And so if Boba Fett was going to be in a conflict with anyone, there would have been some kind of Hutt that he was in a conflict with on Tatooine, which is, again, ridiculous. Like, he should have been accepting jobs from the new Hutt that was on Tatooine. Jabba the Hutt should have just been replaced by another Hutt. It should have been Rada. Honestly, should have been Rada the Hutt. They should have replaced Jabba the Hutt. Jabba the Hutt has a son, Rada the Hutt, in the Clone Wars. Why isn't he sitting on his father's throne? ATD sends a super chat. Thank you very much. He says, "Do you think Count Dooku should have his own show?" If he does, it should be an animated show. No live action show. I don't think anyone can. I don't know of any younger actor that could, I think, try and mimic the mannerisms of Sir Christopher Lee. So I think if there is a Count Dooku show, then it should only be an animated one. And I think if it is animated, it'll probably end up being pretty good. Most of these Disney animated shows end up being pretty decent, except for Tales of the Empire. But other than that, I mean, most of them, there's always those little little kiddie moments that are just there. But I mean, that's even in the Clone Wars. There's things that like if it came out today. If the Clone Wars came out today, there would be plenty of things that people just wouldn't like about it, because, I mean, the reason why a lot of us like it is because we watched it when we were kids, so it's different, so it feels nostalgic. But there are certain aspects of the Clone Wars that are just 100% made for kids. Super Count Dooku sends $5. Thank you very much. He says, Grievous owns the largest lightsaber collection in private hands. Perhaps Papa Palps could talk about that. Yes. I have a vague idea of, you know, Grievous having a lightsaber collection. I'm just not sure exactly the kinds of questions that Palpatine is going to ask. Like, he is going to ask him about his lightsaber collection. I'm just not 100% sure as to where he's going to go with the questions. Or what the kind of answers that General Grievous is going to give him. I am Mr. Gold says, I am back. Is Bro live every day? Yeah, pretty much. I try to be live. If I don't have anything going on, I'll try to be live. Ben says, have you ever heard who were performing Dark Witch evil magic on young children? Add it to the story. Have you ever heard who were performing... yes. On the tragedy of the space witches. Daniel Douglas says, my bad, Osha and May were a skincare company. Fans think there might be a connection. Interesting. Maybe Osha and May will both survive the show, and they'll go on to be they'll create the greatest skincare company in the galaxy. Emil says, ideally we should have a show. We should have had a show about Bail Organa and Leia dealing with the 20-year history of the rebellion in broad strokes, starting off focusing on Bail, then eventually fast forward to Leia. I think that would work. I like that you thought of that idea like as a separate thing, as opposed to like we should sideline Kenobi for little Leia. We should put little Leia in the Kenobi show, even though Kenobi should never have met little Leia. So I like that idea. As long as they don't make Bail Organa like a stupid idiot, because that's what they did in the Kenobi show. They turned him into a complete idiot. Some of the decisions that he makes, like I'm not even like an extremely intelligent critical mind. I'm not a really in-depth movie reviewer, but there's just some of the things that Bail Organa did that were just so dumb. And also some of the things that were totally nonsensical, like he tries to get in contact with Kenobi, but and somehow he like Kenobi has like told him, I guess, where he lives. Like he knows the exact cave where Kenobi lives. And then you know, later on in the show when Bail Organa attempts to contact him, and he says, I know we said no contact, but I'm worried, and like the things that he's saying is just, it's like, if you're worried about him getting captured, then why would you send him a message to, and the amount of information that he gives away in the message is just, it's so stupid. And then also his whole decision in the first place to contact Kenobi, like the Kenobi show is so ridiculous because of the very beginning. The very premise of the show is retarded because of this one simple thing. If Bail Organa's daughter Leia is kidnapped, there is no reason whatsoever why you would get Kenobi involved. None. Because if Kenobi gets involved, all that does is reveal to the Empire that Leia is important to Kenobi. And you know, wouldn't someone like Darth Vader begin to like connect the dots? Why is this child important to Kenobi? This child, which just happened to be adopted by the Organas at the same time that my wife died, you know, these are things that create serious problems. And the fact that Darth Vader has had so many so many indirect interactions with Leia, I feel like A New Hope, when Darth Vader tries to interrogate Leia, that should have been the very first time that Darth Vader like saw her. And instead there's like he's indirectly interacting with her through the Inquisitors. One of his Inquisitors is kidnapping his... It just so happens that one of his Inquisitors happens to figure out who his daughter is and guess it right. It's just so ridiculous. And that she's able to figure, and that Reva is able to figure this out, and yet Darth Vader couldn't figure this out. Like, Anakin is, I guess, Anakin is just as dumb as the writers need him to be now. Anakin was supposed to be a force to be reckoned with, a terrifying villain. But villains are... Listen, villains are not terrifying if they're stupid. Villains are not terrifying if they don't know anything. Darth Vader is dumb in that show. He doesn't even understand anything. Speak Softly, thank you very much for the super chat. He says Jar Jar getting heated about Kenobi. There's so much about Kenobi that is so messed up. You could go on for literally hours. There are like 6-7 hour long videos. Not 6-7 hour long videos, but there's like 4 or 5 hour long videos. Multiple parts of people dissecting the Kenobi show and how stupid it is. Veer's stream says the whole idea of separating them is to keep them safe and increase the chances of one living. Abandoning one to go protect the other when she gets compromised is so dumb. And it's so dumb because... And this is another thing that I was going to say that I forgot. Bail Organa could have... The solution to Bail Organa's problem was to contact the Empire and say his daughter was kidnapped. The Empire would have a vested interest in making sure that their senator's children are not getting kidnapped. Like, this would be an intergalactic incident. The senator for Alderaan's child was kidnapped, and there would be a galaxy-wide search. Every single stormtrooper would be alerted that this young girl has been stolen. And how long do you think it would take for the Inquisitors to find out that Reva had decided to by herself go and kidnap an Imperial senator's daughter? And of course when the Grand Inquisitor finds that out, what does he do? He does absolutely nothing to her. He should have cut her head off. That's what should have happened. He should have cut her head off. And I was baffled. I was dumbfounded as to why such... Look, these are like evil characters. You see, when people fail Darth Vader in the original trilogy, when they do things incredibly stupidly, you know what he does? He kills them. He chokes them to death. And for some reason, the Grand Inquisitor, who's filled with the dark side, he's like second to the Dark Lord himself. What does he do when he finds out that Reva did something as stupid as kidnapping Bail Organa's daughter? What does he do? Nothing. He does nothing. It's so stupid. That show is so dumb. That anyone tries to defend the Kenobi show in any way whatsoever, or says something like, "Oh, it's not that bad." It's bad. It is so bad. It's awful. And his head looks like an egg. And the Inquisitor's head looks like an egg. And yes, that is important. He looks stupid, and they completely failed. I don't understand how you can have that much money and you can't get the costume department to get his head correct. This is not difficult. It's not rocket science. Just ask the people what they did in Revenge of the Sith and do the same thing. It's not that hard. It's so terrible. ATD sends $1.99. Thank you very much. He says, "Bro's popping off." I am. This show is... The Kenobi show is... it almost makes me kind of like the Kenobi show, just because of how bad it is. It's kind of like the sequels. Like they become cult classics because of how awful they are. But the problem is they're just gonna keep doing it though. You cannot have an entire library of cult classics for Star Wars, okay? There should be 1 or 2 cult classics. The rest should be really good. There should be really good Star Wars TV shows and movies. And then the rest, there should only be a few cult classics. There should only be a few TV shows and movies that are not very good. Only a few. And that's it. And they should be like so bad that they're good. That's fine. But the rest of them should be at least decent enough to pass. You know, like Rogue One is a passable movie. There's things about it that are you know, not ideal, and some parts, like Rogue One itself, is kind of a superfluous movie. It's not really necessary. It's a redundant movie, but it's also not terrible. It's not terrible. And so there are lots of things about Rogue One that I can appreciate. And if Disney had made most of their movies like Rogue One, I don't think most people would have much of a problem with the Star Wars movies that they've been making. But ugh. Beer Stream says we already have the Xmas special. Yeah, the Xmas special. Although I will say the Star Wars Christmas special is not a cult classic. It is genuinely terrible. The Star Wars Christmas special is still worse than the Acolyte, okay? As bad as the Acolyte is, as bad as the Kenobi show is, the Star Wars Christmas special, if you try and watch that, you will feel the same way that you do with modern day brain rot. You will ask yourself the question why you're alive, and that they even bothered to, like, why they released this on television. Was George? I want George Lucas to admit it on his deathbed whether or not he had something to do with the Star Wars Christmas special and what he actually thought about it. I want a written confession from him that he helped to write, create, and direct that show. I don't know. I haven't seen the credits. Maybe he did. Military Gaming says it was 70s brain rot. It was. You watch. I mean, we could watch some of the. We could watch some of the Star Wars Christmas special right now. Where is it? Star Wars Christmas special? We got the upscaled version. This is still worse. This is still worse than anything that Disney has managed to create. Which, as I've said before on stream, Disney is always stuck in the middle, in the pit of mediocrity. They can't make stuff that is so bad. They can never make the very worst Star Wars thing, and they can never outdo the best thing in Star Wars. They'll always be stuck in the middle.
Finish your drink. Have another drink. This one's on me. Now, you stay just as long as you can. But I have business to attend to. I really have no time for anything else.
It's not an hour. It's an hour and 20 minutes. It is not. Look, and it's. Look at this guy's face. This is an alien. This is the alien. Where is he?
Well, I am certainly not going to get rich with customers like you. I thought I taught you to drink faster than that. Well, at least you're steady. Oh, come on now, drink up. There's plenty more where that came from.
Look at this.
What'll it be? Hello at me. Okay, we'll do it your way. Hello. Now we'll do it my way. What'll it be?
Can we talk?
Well, of course.
He's in love. He's in love with her. Can we talk?
Of course we can talk. We are talking. You're not ordering. I'm not pouring. We are not drinking. We are talking. I'm moving this to make room for a drink so that next time I say what'll it be and you tell me, I can put it right there.
Doesn't matter. Give me anything. I'll have one of those. I'm sorry.
1970s. Simp! They had simp aliens in Star Wars in the 1970s.
Sorry I couldn't get back before.
Before what?
Until now. Until tonight. I thought about it a dozen times, but I had to be sure.
Excuse me, I have a customer waiting. I'll be right back.
Wait.
Come back soon.
Oh, it's right here.
I'll be
Hold on.
waiting.
Okay, it's right here.
Cares for him again.
Watch. He goes behind the counter. He goes behind the counter. Just wait for this. We're gonna see. You're gonna see. This is what 1970s Riz looks like. Okay, just watch and learn. Watch and learn. Don't try this at home though. Watch and learn though.
I wasn't looking for that when I came in here. Maybe that's why it happened, because I wasn't asking for love anymore. I wasn't desperate. I wasn't begging, whining, groveling, sniveling. I just came in here for a drink. And I found a lot more.
Krellman, listen, Krellman, you're kind and sweet and terribly attractive, but if you're saying what I think you're saying, you felt you meant, I thought you needed to hear, then I just...
1970s Riz, don't try this at home, okay? Do not try this at home. This worked in the 70s, but it doesn't work in 2024. Princess Unicorn says, I tried watching this and I'd rather watch Book of Boba Fett. I would rather watch Book of Boba Fett too.
Just have one thing to say, I did not.
Agneta, don't do this to me.
Now, please, look, I have customers. Why don't you sit down, finish your drink, have another drink. This one's on me.
This is how you got Veer's stream says straight to jail. This is how you get This is how you get free drinks in the 1970s. You just go up behind the female bartender, you grab her from behind, you hug her close, and you whisper in her ear how much you love her, and she gives you free drinks. She gives you a free drink. She'll pour it. She pour it in the top. She'll pour it in the top of your head.
As long as you go.
Haley Marie, yo, what's going on? MWM Productions says, fancy seeing you here, Jedi Obi-Wan Kenobi. Man in Charge says, OMG, this is the best movie of all time. Yes, it is. It's the best movie of all time. Alright, we gotta find the other spot.
I really have no time for anything else.
You'll change your mind. I just know you will. 6 simple little words. I can wait forever to hear it again. Because I know...
Come back soon. I'll be waiting.
He realizes. Come back soon. I'll be waiting. 6 simple words. He fell in love with her because she said, come back soon. I'll be waiting. All right. This is the other part. This is the other part.
Now then, Itchy, I thought you might like this. One of those, oh, it's a real, I don't know how to explain. It's a, wow. You know what I mean? Happy Life Day. I do mean Happy Life Day.
E4 says, no, not the VR part.
Searching. I am here.
This is Star Wars, by the way.
My voice is for you alone. I am found in your eyes only. I exist for you. I am in your mind.
They had AI girlfriends in the 1970s. I exist only for you.
As you create me, Oh.
as you create me.
Yes.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can feel my creation.
Oh.
I'm getting your message. Are you getting mine?
Why is the Wookiee creating this woman in his mind? Why shouldn't he be creating a Wookiee in his mind? A female Wookiee?
Oh, we are excited, aren't we? Well, just relax. Just relax. Yeah. Now, we can have a good time, can't we?
This is made in the 1970s. What were they thinking?
I'll tell you a secret.
Secret.
I find you adorable. I'll tell you a secret. I find you adorable.
I find you adorable.
I find you adorable. I find you adorable. I don't need to.
Bro, this Wookiee needs help. Han and Chewie. Oh, we got Harrison Ford here.
All right.
They put in
All
extra
right,
effort for the
coordinates
special
work the
effects
best.
for this.
Out of the frying pan into the fire, huh, pal? How should I know we'd come out of hyperspace into the middle of an Imperial convoy? At least against these fighters, we've got more of a chance. However,
So, let me ask you guys, what do you prefer? You prefer these Wookiee scenes, or do you prefer the what's his face from the Acolyte? We never got this. We never got to see. Totally forgot what his name is. What's the Wookiee's name in the Acolyte? Do you think this house is on Kashyyyk?
It's me, Zondan.
It's me. Oh, Kalnaka. Yeah, it's Kanaka. Military Gaming says this shit make the Acolyte look like a masterpiece. It is.
Aichi, I brought you that proton pack. You know, for the whatchamacallit, the thingamabob. The mind evaporator, that's it, the mind evaporator. Boy, am I glad to see you folks. Oh, my favorite Wookiees today.
Oh, my favorite Wookiees today. Oh, how about the cooking show?
Hello. Today we are going to be preparing a very succulent dish called Bantha Surprise.
Bantha Surprise! Jedi Obi-Wan Kenobi says, I think the sequels are actually such a good project when I watch this. Yeah, I find a new appreciation for the sequels. With each new Star Wars project that comes out, I find a new appreciation for the sequels. I look back at the sequels and I say, perhaps I'm like the Thanos meme where he looks at what's her name? What's the blue lady's name? Anyway, he looks at her and he says, perhaps I treated you too harshly. Perhaps I treated you too harshly.
Very hearty.
MWM says Wookiee sounds of a Wookiee with diarrhea. Lord of War says ban the guy that started the Christmas special thing.
Nourishing dish, but it's very economical too. So all those hungry mouths in your household will be going yummy yum on that tummy tum if you just follow along with me as I prepare this popular favorite. Now, today, I'm going to be using the tenderest cut of the bantha, the loin. The loin is very tasty and serves 4 nicely. Of course, if your family has a hearty appetite, I would...
Bro, what is this? They have blackface in Star Wars. The Star Wars holiday special has blackface. This is why George Lucas doesn't talk about it. Bro. Oh man. Blackface in the Star Wars special. Liz, what's going on? Rusty Shackelford says, can't we just say both suck in their own special way? They do.
would suggest then that old popular holiday favorite, the Bantha Rump.
Oh my.
Very tender. We just slice into bite-sized morsels. But only you know the size of a bite in your family, eh?
Okay.
All right. Now it's time to put our chunks.
Only you know the size of the bite in your family.
Into our pots. Nicely, nicely. We add a dash of legamo. Very good. Sprig of celery. Very nice. Little bit of tertium. Always nice. And, tertium is nice. And just a little whisper of chutney.
So uncivilized.
It's looking very nice. Guess what I forgot? A bit of the calorantrum root.
Bullet Grievous says, I'm going to the kitchen to grab a knife. Jordan Wheeler says, I love this. You love it. Lego Charger says, turn it off. Turn it
Wonderful.
off.
Just adds that touch of piquancy. There we go. Very nice. Now we add enough liquid to cover. And it can be fun. So
Bro, watch. It's General Grievous before there was General Grievous.
stir, whip, 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 stir, stir, whip, stir, whip, 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 stir. Wah! Having fun. All right, coming along nicely now. Step 3. We also have to beat. So it's beat, 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 stir, whip, beat, beat, stir. That's not right. I'm sorry. Stir, whip, 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 stir, beat, stir, whip, whip, stir, beat. Coming along nicely.
Why? Why did they make this? So now you can see. Now. Do you appreciate the Kenobi show yet?
Starting to have a fine aroma.
Do you appreciate the Kenobi show yet?
Got it just in time. Now at this time, I usually like to taste the broth. So we'll have a little taste and see how it's coming along. A little bit more sriracha, a bit. Oregano, a little pumpkin. One for the pot. Coming along.
This is disgusting. This is sick. Lurdman, thank you for the huge super chat. He says, listen to Daddy Daddy Do song or watch episode of Bluey. Well, I don't know if I'll be able to. I don't know if I'd be able to watch a Daddy Daddy Do song. So I think it's Bluey then. I think we're gonna have to do a Bluey. Thank you very much, Lurdman. Liz says this movie is so bad my uncle used to threaten to play it in the back of the car while we weren't listening. When we weren't listening to our mom, it always made us stop misbehaving. It is. Super Count Dooku says, no, that's kroner, as in Norwegian kroner. The Kronks, the Norwegian Kronks. Let's see, look at this.
Train stopping!
I'm sorry I'm late.
Oh, Poppy, you just missed story time.
Make sure to hit that like button.
I'll pick you up after work. Mommy loves you.
You know, this actually gives me some relief after watching the Star Wars Holiday Special.
I hope that train's on time.
Train stopping! Oh.
Like, the quality of Bluey is significantly higher than anything the Star Wars Special has to offer.
You again. I hope you've got a real ticket this time.
Oh, yes. Sorry about the mix-up. Boop. See?
Yeah, good. Ah!
Oh, this is...
I'm putting this cat on your lap.
Jedi Obi-Wan Kenobi says, it's actually a different currency in which you seem to lack knowledge of. Yeah, the Norwegian Kronks. Liz says, I babysit a toddler that loved this show. I can't watch this. I have to watch this. Lurdman sent he sent like a $19 super chat, so
Watch him if I were you.
I gotta humor him, so.
Don't be sick.
Ring ring!
Hello?
Glenda, where are you? This polar bear is getting really cranky.
Melon Playground guy says, is that the face you gave Anakin when you got the high ground, Obi-Wan? Wait, what face? Liz says I had to watch so much of this that summer. Bluey, you must be forced. Liz must be forced to watch Bluey.
You're gonna have to tickle him
Liz, question for you, Liz. Would you rather watch Bluey or Peppa Pig?
yourself.
Okay.
Bluey is live. Yeah, I think Bluey is actually always live.
I'll give it a go.
I'll be there soon. Good luck.
They run their episodes like 24/7.
I'm so sorry we're late.
Hurry. The polar bear is getting cranky.
Try leaving.
Who drives a train to the polar bear? Rusty Shackelford says, that movie was so bad even Donkey Kong wouldn't give it an okay. I think Donkey Kong wouldn't give a lot of things the okay. Jordan Wheeler says, we are losing brain cells because I find this entertaining. It's just because with the bitterness of the Star Wars Holiday Special, this is like a sweet treat. This show is like a sweet treat in comparison to the Star Wars Holiday Special. Bluey, Peppa Pig was the other show that kid liked, and Bluey was less bad. Really, you like Peppa Pig less?
What happened?
The polar bear escaped. He didn't like how I tickled him. He's on the loose and he's cranky.
By the way, polar bears are probably the most dangerous bear that you can run into, and you're most likely going to die if you run into a polar bear, you're gonna die. It's just gonna eat you.
Oh no.
Try to run.
And it won't kill you before it eats you too. It'll eat you alive. Like it'll start from your stomach. It'll start eating like your guts first while you're still alive. And you'll have to experience the pain of being torn apart from the midsection.
Oh, look, the train is here.
I'm so sorry we're late. Hang on. Have I seen you before?
Oh, no. We just moved here from, Egypt.
Oh, good.
Egypt? Z-Core says, okay, so Star Wars Holiday Special or The Acolyte? Me personally, I say The Acolyte is probably 10 times better than the Star Wars Holiday Special. As much as I hate The Acolyte, the Star Wars Holiday Special is still infinitely worse than anything that Disney has managed to create. Even Young Jedi Adventures is better than the Star Wars Holiday Special. And Young Jedi Adventures is like, it's like the Star Wars version of, it's like the Bluey version of Star Wars. Young Jedi Adventures. Learn, help others. You must. Django Fett Clone says, "This is my crying little shit George." What? Lord of War says, "I'm a go Jar Jar. I've lost 100 brain cells." I'm very sorry to hear that. Only 100 brain cells? I think you lose at least that much when you're doing nothing at all. E4 says the thumbnail of the stream is Freaky Chef. Oh, nice. Perfect. It'll change. I didn't set a thumbnail for the show, so it'll show like whatever I'm showing. Jordan Wheeler says, Jar Jar, how would you know? Have you experience with the polar bear? No, I don't have experience with polar bears, but I know of them and I know what they do. And polar bears are terrifying creatures that you should absolutely steer clear of if you ever happen to be in their vicinity, which you probably won't, because I mean polar bears are really only up north and that's it.
Good, because I do not like being attacked by animals. Fight!
Oh, that's the cat insect. You're hurt.
It is you! I knew it!
My cat is hurt. He needs a vet.
Quick, hop on the train! All aboard! Express train!
Faster! Oh, I hope the train will be here soon, Rick.
Liz says, The Acolyte got a worse audience score than the holiday special on Rotten Tomatoes. Well, that's not right. That's not right. Objectively, The Acolyte is better than the Star Wars holiday special. Except the difference is, they didn't make the Star Wars holiday special canon. And, according to Disney, The Acolyte is canon, so that, I guess you could argue from a canon perspective, the holiday special is better because it's not canon. Isaiah Guzman says, Lucky I survived. You had an experience with a polar bear? When did you have an experience with a polar bear? Where do you live? Were you on vacation up there or something? I am Mr. Gold says, Lerdman is a legend. W's for Lerdman, yes. Yes, I pinned that. Lerdman is definitely a legend.
Rachel? Me too much. We'll be late for mahjong.
Stand back from the platform!
Oh, hear it.
Sorry, ladies!
Bro, they left them behind. Okay, that's a loud outro song. Why is the outro song so long? So loud. Bullet Grievous says, where are my people? Speak Softly says, what do you mean, your people? I think he's talking about the watermelon people. Hey, put a watermelon in the chat if you're a watermelon person. That's me. I had some watermelon today. I love watermelon. It's one of my favorite fruits. Jordan Wheeler says, Jar Jar, don't encourage Disney. LOL, Disney Star Wars isn't canon to Star Wars. That's true. Rusty Shackelford says, I think he is lucky he survived the holiday I don't know what that means. Super Count Dooku says, so, writing a script. Yes, I am writing a script. I'm trying to write a script. Melon Playground Guy says, you have summoned me, Jar Jar. Yes. Z-Core says, so the Acolyte is arguably better than the holiday special because, insert arguable argument here, and because of the power of many. Liz says, I had vivid nightmares where a bunch of hungry polar bears moved into my town when all their main food sources died off and they hunted people for food. It was brutal. That's terrifying. Why did you have such... Did you watch like a movie or something that gave you those nightmares?
Here, the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise.
No, I thought not. There's no story that Jedi would tell you. Erdman says, my whole channel is my concile? I don't know what concile is. Rusty Shackelford says, I meant to write, I think he meant to say he survived the holiday special, not a polar bear. Oh, okay. That makes more sense.
It's not a story the Jedi would tell you. It's a Sith legend. could use the Force.
Alright, so this is what I have so far. Did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth Osha the Acolyte? I thought not. It's no story the Jedi would tell you. It's a witch legend. Darth Osha was a child of 2 lesbian space witches, so powerful and so wise, she could use the thread to what? Give me some ideas, chat. I need some ideas. She could use the thread to what? E4 says, Darth Master Windu was a Dark Lord of the Sith. No. Darth Master Windu. There's no Darth Master Windu. He's only for the light side. Zekor says, it's no recipe the Jedi would... it's no recipe the Jedi would tell you. Rusty Shackleford says, first you stir, then whisk, then beat. Yes. First you stir, then whisk, then beat. I am Mr. Gold says, Papa Palp's coming in clutch with the Plagueis awareness. MWM Production says, set out space campfires. She could use the thread. To gain the power of many. To ensure a safe working environment. To reach public construction safety. To teach public construction safety. You could use the thread to thread the needle. She could use the thread to thread the needle. Old Grievous says, did you ever hear the tragedy of the holiday special cooking show? The bad? I thought not. It isn't a story the Wookiees would tell you. It isn't a story the Wookiees would tell you. Veer Stream says, use the thread to destroy the cannon itself. Igor says, she could use the thread to thread the threaded needles that required threading. Liz says, I applied for an internship to study seals in the Arctic all summer. I didn't get it, sadly, but my mom was scared I'd get eaten by a polar bear. I think that's why I had that nightmare. Your mom was scared you'd get eaten by a polar bear. I think that's probably an unnecessary fear to have. I'm pretty sure they probably wouldn't put you in a place where you could get eaten by a polar bear. Triple J says to make bad plot. Thirdman says, shall I pay? We watch anime on the stream. Yeah, we could do that as long as it's on YouTube. I could look up, but you'd have to specify a certain clip, and it cannot be an inappropriate anime. If it is, I'm immediately clicking away. Cybernova DW says, have you ever heard the tragedy of Palpatine telling Anakin the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise? Zekor says she could use the thread to retcon Ki-Adi-Mundi's age. To enlarge plot holes. She could use the thread to enlarge plot holes. Well, I want the talk that he gives to Anakin to be semi-comedic. I mean, semi-comedic as in, like, it can't be too meta. I want it to be kind of self-aware, but also not too much. Like, almost like it could potentially be a possible future that Disney tries to create, like when they try to remake the prequels. If Disney remakes the prequels, like how would they change the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise? Well, they change it so that it fits with the other shows that they made. So, like, this is an actual story Palpatine is telling Anakin. Rusty Shackelford says, have you ever heard the story of Darth Polar the Bear? I thought not. It's not a story the Grizzlies would tell you. Yeah, the Grizzlies probably wouldn't tell you that. They don't want to be outclassed by a polar bear. Decor says she could use the thread to influence the power of many. Okay, that works. That's good. I like that one. I like that. I'm gonna change that to influence the power of many. Use the thread to influence the power of many. All right, now to the next part. Now we're on to the next part. Okay, do not give any more suggestions for this part of the script. Okay, because we're done with that part. Now it's on to the next part, which is she had such a knowledge of the thread. She could even keep the ones she cared about. Or something like that. She could use the thread to influence the power of many. That's been added. Beerstream says she could use the thread to influence life itself, to immaculately conceive, to make the midichlorians become Force females. Cybernova DW says, have you heard the tragedy of Darth Sidious the Stupido? Misa thought not. Tis not as stories the Gungans would have told Yusa. It's a Sith legend. Lerdman says, are we talking about Bears Wars? Bears Wars? Bullet Grievous says, there is a cockroach in the bathroom. Did you step on it? She could even use plot armor to make her homies powerful. No. We need something that makes more sense in the Star Wars universe. She could even hold the power and volume buttons on droids to reset them. No, well, that's May. We're doing Darth Osha. Is Darth Osha the Wise? Cybernova says, just the Sith legend of how Darth Jar Jar killed Palpatine in his sleep. Beerstream said, such a knowledge of the thread, she could turn one into two. Her copy pasting got so out of hand. Zekor said she had such a knowledge of the thread, she could recite the whole OSHA standards out of her head. She had... Well, then that would be Darth May. Should I change it to Darth May, or should I keep it Darth Osha? She had such a knowledge of the thread, she could even burn down a whole stone fortress with a lantern. I like that, but should I change it to May? Darth May the Wise? Because I do like that. She had such a knowledge of the thread, she could even burn down a whole stone fortress with a lantern. Old Grievous says, is it hiding, bruh? Or it is hiding. Well, you're gonna have to flush it out. Have you ever heard the tragedy of Darth May? May, the acolyte? I thought not. With a child of two. Okay, okay. All right, we're gonna use Liz's suggestion. She had such a knowledge of the thread, she could even burn down a whole stone fortress with a lantern. She had such a knowledge of the thread, she could even burn down the whole stone fortress with a lantern. And Anakin says, she could then all right. Now to the next part. Obviously, the next part's going to be the thread is a pathway to many abilities. Some consider to be unnatural. Naturally, that would be the next. Erdman says, amazing script, thank you very much. Rusty Shackle says, OSHA had such a knowledge of the safety guidelines that she could prevent her coworkers from workplace accidents so they couldn't get paid time off. Jordan Wheeler says, not from a bigot like you. Is it possible to learn? I want Anakin, I guess Anakin could say she could even make bricks set fire. He could say that, but I think he's gonna be, Palpatine's gonna be talking about Darth May, and Anakin's still gonna be stuck on trying to save Padme from certain death. So he's gonna keep the conversation on track, and he's gonna ask him, but can the thread save people from death? E4 says, did you need to use extensive knowledge of the Jedi Arts to defeat it? To defeat what? Oh, did you get the cockroach? Beer's stream says, Darth Osha had such a knowledge of the thread, she could even fish frogs out of toilets. One day, Master Yoda fell victim to this, and the Skibbity Yoda was born. Liz says, you left in Darth Osha in the third sentence. Oh, here it is. Thank you. Thank you, Liz. I appreciate it. Although I should probably just spell it May, so that the AI voice probably won't know that it's supposed to be pronounced May. Ford Grievous says, there is another roach. There is another. Always two there are. No more, no less. One roach to get crushed, and another to escape. Jordan Wheeler says, keep the idea that I had where Palpatine makes slurs, just like the Acolyte crew says to us fans. What? This says, you're welcome. Did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth May the Acolyte? I thought not. It's no story the Jedi would tell you. It's a witch legend. Darth May was a child of 2 lesbian space witches, so powerful and so wise. Maybe he should say so powerful and so gay. She had such a knowledge of the thread. She had such a knowledge of the thread. Let me get rid of this part here. And she could even burn down the whole stone fortress. A whole stone fortress with a lantern, Anakin. But can the thread save people from death? The thread is a pathway to many abilities, some considered to be homosexual. Z-Core says, but what was the first roach? The master or the apprentice? Or which was destroyed? The master or the apprentice? So powerful and so skibbity toilet. Rusty Shackelford says, how funny would it be if Anakin asked Palpatine for his source for this story? Source? Source? Can you give me a source for that? Can I get some citations, Papa Palps, please? Can I get some citations for that? Do you have any proof?
From dying.
What happened?
Melon Playground Guy says, always 2 there are. A roach and an apprentice. WWQ44679. Thank you, Bullet Grievous. Eventually, she became what? She became so threaded. She became so powerful. What should the next part be? Jordan Wheeler says, Palpatine, have I ever told you about Disney ruining Star Wars? No, I thought not. It's no story the journalists would tell you. Melon Playground Guy says, it must be World War's bathroom with Grievous and the Roach. Cockroach Bro defeated. Congratulations, Bullet Grievous. Jordan Wheeler says, Jar Jar, are you willing to watch Dark Looney Tunes clips? Dark Looney Tunes? What is that? Do you mean like just like old Looney Tunes cartoons that modern audiences wouldn't approve of, or do you mean like Looney Tunes clips that are not from the original Looney Tunes cartoon that are dark? Bullet Grievous says, thank God flip-flops exist. Yes, the ultimate cockroach crusher. Daniken the Youngling Slayer says, guys, I always come back. Hey, Daniken, maybe you can help us with this script. We're working on this script here. We're at the point where he says, eventually she became so powerful, the only thing she was afraid of was, you know, have you... Rusty Shackelford says, have you ever heard the story of Darth Midichlorian, the microscopic organism? I thought not. It's not a story that ever should have been told. And it will never be told. Jordan Wheeler says the old ones where it isn't aged well. Oh, okay. Dark Looney Tunes clips. I mean, I could watch them. I'm not really a huge fan of them. I think a lot of them are rather distasteful. I mean, I've seen them, and I wouldn't say that they're the most awful, terrible thing that exists on the planet, but I'm not really a huge fan of them. Decor says, eventually she succumbed to the light side and got a whooping from her master, then eventually her twin sister took her place, putting on a sus mask and hibernating. Super Count Dooku says, perhaps the only thing she was scared of was guardrails, not being on the side of walkways, which eventually, of course, she fell off a walkway. Rusty Shackelford says, have I ever told you the story of Kiadi Mundi the Forgetful? Kiadi Mundi the Forgetful was once a Jedi with such a brain so big, it contained so much information he forgot about what happened when he was 25 years old. Did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth May, the Acolyte? I thought not. It's no story the Jedi would tell you. It's a witch legend. Darth May was a child of two lesbian space witches so powerful and so wise, she could use the thread to influence the power of many. She had such a knowledge of the thread, she could even burn down a whole stone fortress with a lantern. But can the thread save people from death? The thread is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural. Well, what happened to her? And then she became so threaded, the only thing she was afraid of was falling off a walkway with no guardrails. Which, eventually, of course, she did. Yoda Master Mundi, what say about this do you, Daddy Mundi? Your mother. Your mother? Unfortunately, Rusty Shackleford says, have you heard the tragedy of Shmi the Slave? Oh, sorry, Anakin, I forgot. Dang, you gonna do him dirty like that? Palpatine's gonna get an earful from Anakin. Anakin's gonna put some dirt in Palpatine's eye. Unfortunately, okay, here's the end. What should happen at the end? What should be the end of this story? Unfortunately, which eventually, of course, she did. Unfortunately, what happens? What happens next? Anakin the Youngling Slayer says, I know! I know! Then what? Jordan Wheeler says, have I ever told you about the gays? Anakin, the gays? Palpatine, yes, you have to be gay. But I don't want to be gay. Disney, you have to be now. You have no choice now. You must be. Anakin the Youngling Slayer says, in a tragic event, she accidentally activated Barbin. No. No. We need something that is like a reference to the show or Star Wars, okay? Not Barbenheimer. Okay? That has no relevance whatsoever. Maybe in another video it would, but not in this video. Rusty Shackleford says, have you ever heard the tragedy of Darth Spider-Man the Black? I thought not. It's not a story a chump would tell you. Unfortunately, Jordan Wheeler says, unfortunately, you have to be a lesbian to be a witch. Unfortunately. Z-Core says, unfortunately, her sister replaced her. Ironic, she could manipulate the thread to her wishes, but in the end, she could not pass the OSHA standards. In the end, she did not meet OSHA standards. Danikin, the youngling slayer, says, whenever Jar Jar streams, it's gonna be a good day. That's right. A good day today. It was a good day today. I had a good day. It has been good. It's been a good day. Did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth May the Acolyte? I thought not. It's no story the Jedi would tell you. It's a witch legend. Darth May was a child of 2 lesbian space witches, so powerful and so wise she could use the thread to influence the power of many. She had such a knowledge of the thread, she could even burn down a whole stone fortress with a lantern. Anakin, but can the thread save people from death? The thread is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural. Anakin, well, what happened to her? She became so threaded. The only thing she was afraid of was falling off a walkway with no guardrails, which eventually, of course, she did. Unfortunately, she tried to kill everyone while she was tripping out on spice creams. And fell to her... and fell... fell down a canyon? A crack? A crevice? What did she even fall into? Darth May falls. What did she even fall into? What do you call it? A fissure? A crevice? A crack? What do you call a crack in the ground? A fissure? Okay, a fissure. Oh, a crevice. A crevasse. Crevasse. Thesaurus. A thesaurus. Bring me up a thesaurus. I would type in a word. Crevasse. An abyss. A chasm. She fell down and fell into an abyss. Okay, that works. Fell into an abyss. Okay, that sounds good. A canyon. A ravine. A ravine. Liz says, unfortunately, her sister replaced her. Ironic, she could kill all the space witches, but that one got away twice. Anakin says a sinkhole. Well, it's not a sinkhole though. I mean, it's a hole, but she didn't sink into it. She just fell because it was an empty hole. An abyss. Ironic. She could. Ironic, she could kill all the space witches, but that one got away twice. That can work, but I feel like there's a better possibility. I want him to end with, but not herself. Like, she could what, but not herself. she could blank, but not herself. Ironic, she could kill all the cult witches, but not her sister. She could prevent the ones she loved from stepping on Legos. The only thing she feared was stubbing her toe, which eventually, of course, she did. It hurt so bad, like, she couldn't walk right for a week. Unfortunate. Alright, we're gonna cut this. And we're going to put it here. We gotta remove Anakin's lines. Alright, it's almost ready to be put into 11 labs. And then we'll get to see how it sounds. Did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth May the Acolyte? I thought not, it's no story. The Jedi would tell you it's a witch legend. Darth May was a child of two lesbian space witches, so powerful and so wise she could use the thread to influence the power of many. She had such a knowledge of the thread, she could even burn down a whole stone fortress with the lantern. The thread is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural. She became so threaded, the only thing she was afraid of was falling off a walkway with no guardrails, which eventually, of course, she did. Unfortunately, she tried to kill everyone she knew while tripping out on spice creams and fell into an abyss. Ironic, she could kill all the witches, but not her sister. Alright, we're gonna go with this. We're gonna copy this, we're gonna put it into 11 labs, and we're gonna see how it sounds. Alright, here it goes. I'm gonna pause the... Let's see how this sounds. You might want to turn down your volume a little. I think this might end up being a little bit loud.
Did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth May the Acolyte? I thought not. It's no story the Jedi would tell you. It's a witch legend. Darth May was a child of two lesbian space witches, so she could use the thread to influence the power of
the volume is so loud.
She had such a knowledge of the thread. She could even burn down a whole stone fortress with a lantern. The thread is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural. She became so threaded. The only thing she was afraid of was falling off a walkway with no guardrails, which eventually, of course, she did. Unfortunately, she tried to kill everyone she knew while tripping out on spice creams and fell into an abyss. Ironic, she could kill all the witches, but not her sister.
There's another option, is I can voice it myself and then convert my voice to get potentially better results. I have two different Palpatine voices. That was the opera voice, but let's try the Papa Palpatine voice that I made as well. We'll see how this one sounds.
Did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth May the Acolyte? I thought not. There's no story the Jedi would tell you. It's a witch legend. Darth May was a child of two lesbian space witches, so powerful and so wise she could use the thread to influence the power of the many. She had such a knowledge of the thread, she could even burn down a whole stone fortress with a lantern. The thread is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural. She became so threaded, the only thing she was afraid of was falling off
spit it out
walkway with no guardrails, and which eventually, of course, she did. Unfortunately, she tried to kill everyone she knew while tripping out on spice creams and fell into an abyss. Ironic, she could kill all the witches, but not her sister.
That was maybe I should just make it a Palpatine podcast episode with Anakin. He sounds so uncertain. Yes, he does. He sounds like he just learned the story a couple of days ago, and he's trying to remember. He just recently heard this story. It was very interesting, very fascinating story.
Did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth May the Acolyte? I thought not. It's no story the Jedi would tell you. It's a witch legend. Darth May was a child of 2 lesbian space witches so powerful and so wise she could use the thread to influence the power of the many.
The way he says it, like, the way he says the power of the many, the power of the many. It's like when I'm talking to someone older and they refer to YouTube as the YouTube. I do know some older folk, and they refer to YouTube as the YouTube. The YouTube. So Palpatine says right here.
Had such a knowledge of the thread, she could even burn down a whole stone fortress with a lantern. The thread is a pathway to many abilities, some consider to be unnatural. She became so threaded, the only thing she was afraid of was falling off walkway.
Like he can't even reach that falling off of walkway.
With no guardrails, and which eventually, of course, she did. Unfortunately, she tried to kill everyone she knew while tripping out on spice creams and fell into an abyss. Ironic, she could kill all the witches, but not her sister.
That I'm just gonna make that. I can't do this scene. This scene is not gonna work. So instead, I'm just gonna make this a Papa Palpatine episode. So I'm gonna load that in. I think it's Monkey Madness. So we'll see. We'll see if we can find that. We're gonna make it. The next Papa Palpatine episode was going to be with General Grievous, but now it will be. I think it will be like a solo episode. Palpatine will be talking to, because Anakin is usually like his whatchamacallit guy. What is it called? What's that guy called? What's that guy called? The guy that like does all the technical work behind the scenes. I don't even know what they call him. Anyway. Alright. General Grievous, you're shorter than I expected. Here it is. Here's Papa Palpatine. Now I just need to import. I need to download that sound. Here it is.
Did you ever hear the tragedy?
Yeah, the technician. Yeah. All right, Super Kantuku. Have you heard it yet? I don't know if you were here when I was playing it. Have you heard it yet? I'll play it one more time.
Did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth May the Acolyte? I thought not. It's no story the Jedi would tell you. It's a witch legend. Darth May was a child of 2 lesbian space witches so powerful and so wise she could use the thread to influence the power of the many. She had such a knowledge of the thread. She could even burn down a whole stone fortress with a lantern. The thread is a pathway to many abilities.
A whole stone fortress with a lantern.
Some consider to be unnatural. She became so threaded, the only thing she was afraid of was falling off walkway with no guardrails, and which eventually, of course, she did. Unfortunately, she tried to kill.
He stumbled so hard, right? That's why I don't know how it ended up being so perfect, but this is one of the best AI voices I've ever created. I got this AI voice from an Ian McDermott interview. It was one of the behind the scenes interviews, and I thought it sounded perfect because it was his voice, but it was like calm enough and it was monotone enough that and there was no other background sound, so it was just perfect.
Kill everyone she knew while tripping out on spice creams and fell into an abyss. Ironic, she could kill all the witches, but not her sister.
All right, so there's this.
Did you ever hear the tragedy?
Now we just need to add the Anakin responses. So the Anakin responses. So I guess he'll probably say no at the point. What point? Where's the... MR Omic says, "Help, I have bad news. Have you ever heard the tragedy of lesbian R2-D2? Have you ever heard the lesbian R2-D2? No. Liz says someone needs to add him to the presidential debate and play it in that Papa Palpatine voice." Alright. I need Palpatine, green screen. Where is it? Here it is. I think it's this. It's not this one right here. Maybe I think it's this one. No, it's not. It's part 3. No, it's part 4. Okay. Darth Plagueis part 4. Here it is.
No. No. No.
So, podcast angle. Should Anakin still be in like the technician seat, or should he be sitting down like a guest? I think he should probably still be here, standing here in this spot instead of, yeah, he shouldn't be in the guest position.
Anakin.
Should I add anyone else to this podcast episode, or should it just be Palpatine and Anakin? Because it does work very good. Jordan Wheeler says sitting down as a guest. I guess I could see that. He is his technician though. He could, potentially, Palpatine could have another guest, maybe. Maybe Ki-Adi-Mundi? No, Ki-Adi-Mundi's already been on the podcast. He was the very first episode. Have you ever heard the tragedy of Darth May? No, I've never heard that. I never heard that story before, Palpatine. Not that I can remember. No, we can't do Padme yet. Yeah, we can't do Padme yet. I think it'll just have to be Palpatine and Anakin. Have another Sidious apprentice as the technical producer for the episode, like Maul. I guess we could just have a clone standing by or something. But anyways, I don't think the show won't actually have to show anyone in the technical position. I don't think. Unless someone can think of a good voice line to add in, I don't think there will be any point in showing anything other than Anakin and Palpatine. I could, you know what? I think I could probably add C-3PO in the technical position, because Anakin made C-3PO, and so I think C-3PO could actually work. And C-3PO will just say something like, "Oh my," or something like that. Do I have any C-3PO green screens, though? I do, actually.
An unfortunate situation, and wishes to present this data transcript, which she hopes may resolve the matter. An unfortunate situation, and wishes to present this data transcript.
I need a different... Anyone have a good C-3PO scene? Because I can make an easy... I can make a C-3PO green screen pretty quick. But I need the right scene. It needs to be a scene of C-3PO, kind of... It needs to be close up, but not too close up. Like, it needs to show... The scene needs to be his top half, and it needs to be a reaction shot. You know what? I'm just gonna bring up a YouTube video of C-3PO scenes, and we'll see if we can find a good one. C-3PO scenes. All C-3PO scenes.
This is madness. Not going that way. It's much too rocky. This way is much better. Wait, what's that? A transport. I'm saved. Over here! Hey! Hey! Help! Please help! R2D. A second language to me. I'm as
Alright, shut up.
Alright, shut up. Remember the time Uncle Owen told C-3PO to shut up?
for etiquette and protocol.
Protocol? Why, it's my primary function, sir. I am well versed in all the
language of moisture evaporators.
Evaporators? Sir, my first job was programming binary load lifters. Very similar. Of course I can, sir. It's like a second language to me. I'm as
all right, shut up.
Alright, shut up.
I got such a bad case of dust contamination.
Would you do the Phantom Menace of Kid Anakin turning on C-3PO? No, not that one.
Human-cyborg relations. And this is my counterpart. The one you've just been playing. The one you're carrying inside your rusty innards. One can know me gibberish. And don't talk to me of your mission either. You're fortunate he doesn't blast you into a million pieces, right?
Let's see, maybe they're... we'll do the... see what he looks like in the prequels.
Isn't he great? He's not finished yet.
He's wonderful.
Where is everybody? Oh, hello. How might I be of service? Bless my circuits, I'm so pleased to I knew you would return. I knew it. And... the Maker. Oh, Master Annie. I knew you would return. I knew it.
I think maybe this scene right here is pretty good. Harriet R says fart. Fart! Super Count Dooku says, I know, Dooku, this is a mistake, a terrible mistake. Or, oh no, my friend, they've gone too far. Yeah, but I don't want to put Dooku in the technical position. Dooku would end up being a guest on the show. And I don't want to do a show... I don't want the next episode to be like Palpatine just talking and then Dooku not saying anything. So I think C-3PO's... I think we're gonna go with C-3PO. I gotta save Dooku for a later episode as well, because he's. I gotta make a better. The main issue is I gotta make a better Dooku voice for the Dooku episode, and so far some of the Dooku voices that I've made have worked, but some of them not so much. So I'll probably have to find one of Christopher Lee's interviews to see if I can get a more podcast type voice for him. And if I can, then it's gonna be... that episode is gonna be fire. But I need to come up with a... I wanna make a really good script for that one. And not... yeah, I'm gonna put C-3PO in the technical position for this video. See. Where's Attack of the Clones? Anakin on Tatooine. Here it is. R2Q5 says, have you ever heard of the witch called Darth Cringe the Dumb? It's a story Star Wars fans won't tell you. I think it is a story that Star Wars fans will tell you. Because...
the Maker! Oh, Master Annie! I knew you would return.
Wait! What is this? Okay, never mind. Okay, they were walking past him. At first I was like, why is the ship behind C-3PO? And then I see they walk past him.
The Maker! Oh.
The Maker? Master Annie, I knew you would return. I knew it. R2-D2, he said it would never happen. Oh, wait. Flashbang. I don't need these. Alright, where is it? Oh, I accidentally made it I need to make a video, not a... Alright. Charles says, impossible. U-3PO has been extinct for a millennia. Harriet R says, are we still making fun of Acolyte? Yes, we are, and because the next episode is coming out tonight, tomorrow I might be working on an Acolyte meme of sorts, depending on whether or not there's anything to go on. If it ends up being garbage, then... I mean, if the Acolyte episode ends up being really boring or there's nothing really in it, I probably won't make any video on it. Django Fett Clone says, I just came back to a flashbang. Sorry. Melon Playground Guy says, I'm working on a video, so not gonna be chatting much. Hey, that's okay. Oh, here it is. Podcast background 3. RQ2Q5 says, oh wait, Harriet R says the episode could be prequels ass politics talk. But what do you mean? Oh, never mind. You weren't here. I've already made everything that they're gonna say. I've already made everything that they're gonna say, so it's not gonna be prequel politics talk. It's a video about Darth May the Wise. I still have holograms of Grievous genociding witches. It's music to my audio receptors. Mine as well. .3PO is in the next podcast. Yeah, but he's only gonna slightly feature in it. He's gonna be in one little scene. That's it. He's not going to be the guest. Anakin is going to be sitting there, and Palpatine is going to be telling Anakin the tragedy of Darth May. The tragedy of Darth May, the witch.
The Maker! Oh, Master Annie! I knew you would return. I knew it. And...
I was originally going to try and make just a Palpatine and Anakin video of them talking together in the space opera, but because of the Palpatine voice, it wasn't good enough for a video like that. So I had to use my the Papa Palpatine podcast voice, and I figured it would sound better if he was in a podcast. It would look better if he was in a podcast studio instead of in the space opera.
The maker! Oh, Master Annie! I knew you would return. I knew it. And me. The maker! Oh, Master Annie! I knew you would return. I knew it. And me. The maker! Oh, Master Annie! I knew you would return. I knew it.
He's just gonna say, I knew it to something. Charles says, what if this... Charles says, this what could happen if Caddy was in Episode 9, Poe Dameron, somehow Palpatine returned. Caddy says impossible. Palpatine cloning has been extinct for a millennia. Poe Dameron, somehow. R2Q5 says, hold up, I have no mother. Caddy, I have been trained by your roasting arts by Leslie Headland's true style. Thought style. R2Q5 says Charles says, Caddy, what about the droid attack on the Wookiees? It's an attack we've not heard about for quite some time. The droid attack on the Wookiees. Imagine.
I knew it.
That short clip of the Papa Palps podcast, if you don't mind, please smash that like button. Did you ever hear the tragedy? you for watching that short clip of the... Thank you for watching that short clip of the Papa Palps podcast. If you don't mind, please...
MDW says, what do you use for a Palpatine voice? I use 11 Labs. 11 Labs. Trade Federation breaks. Yo, what's going on? How goes it?
Thank you for watching that short clip of the Papa Palps podcast. If you don't mind, please smash that like button. Currently, 75% of you watching are not subscribed, so if you liked what you heard, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon to turn on all notifications. You can also find us at Twee, Link, Jabberfy, and Palawick Tunes. Thank you for watching, and as always, long live the Republic. Did you ever hear the tragedy?
Of course. What do you mean?
I'm depending on you.
For what? I don't understand.
To be the eyes,
Liz says,
ears,
gotta go.
and
Bye,
voice
chat. I had a lot of fun.
of
May
the
the force
Republic.
be with you.
And
Thank you very much for being here, Liz. Have a nice night. Hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Trade Federation breaks. Yes, Papa Palps podcast is my favorite podcast.
For what? I don't understand. Members, they'll never accept this.
I think they will. They need you. All the new nerve.
What do you mean?
Charles says, who's the top 3 best Jedi ever? My opinion, Anakin Ridgewalker, Yosa, and you-know-who, the one who started the droid attack on the Wookiees. Are we talking about the best Jedi objectively, or are we talking about your favorite Jedi? Because if it's your favorite Jedi you speak of, R2Q5 says, I'm so glad I canceled my YordVPN subscription and subbed to Jar Jar Defender. Yes. Speaking of which, that's a really good idea. That's a really good idea. I need to add that. Maybe not in this podcast, but I need to add ad reads. Palpatine needs to do Star Wars ad reads. Star Wars ad reads for the future Papa Palpatine episodes. All my favorite songs on.
No. No. No.
Monkey music. Yeah, monkey music. Monkey! 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 Alright.
Of Darth May the Acolyte. I thought not.
Trade Federation Brick says Jar Jar Studios membership is only $1.99 a month. So support Jar Jar though. I'm helping him pay his bills and video funding and get access to hilarious stickers and videos. But emotes, hilarious emotes and videos, and yes, and videos. There are a few videos. There are not very many members only videos, but there are a few of them. Actually, the only few members only videos that I have, I think 2 of them are members only because they have like a they're not, I'm not able to monetize them because they're like flagged for copyright. So I made them members only. And then the other one is the other one was a video that I never finished. BT24 happened to get a membership. Congratulations to BT24 and Haley Marie. Super Count, thank you very much, Super Count Dooku. I gotta check and see where we're at with the memberships. I think we might actually have another. Do we have another emote yet? Let's see. Memberships. Default perks. Emojis. 13. Okay, we're 13 members away from the next. 13 members away from the next emoji.
Did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth May the Acolyte? I thought not.
I think I'll start it off with him staring.
No.
It's no story the Jedi would tell you. It's a witch legend. Darth May was a child of 2 lesbian space witches so powerful and so wise she could use the thread to influence the power of the many. She had such a knowledge of the thread, she could even burn down a whole stone fortress with a lantern.
A whole stone fortress with a lantern.
The thread is a pathway to many abilities.
Now that's the part where I need you to say.
He could actually save people from death.
I need the. Let's see if. Oh, here it is.
What?
R2Q5 says the Empire never paid me a single credit. What do you mean? Single credit for what? Great Federation Brick says, yo, gotta go, be back in an hour, see you later, Jar Jar in chat. Hey, thank you for being here, Trade Federation Bricks, and see you. I'll see you on the next one, hopefully. there. There, perfect.
No. What? What?
The thread is a pathway to many abilities, some consider to be unnatural. She became so threaded, the only thing she was afraid of was falling off walkway.
Falling off. MDW Edit says, "Hey guys, I'm thinking of making an animated Unreal Engine fan film to hopefully be better than the crap of The Acolyte, but that is going to be pretty easy to do as we all know how bad that is." Yes, but can you make it better than the Star Wars Holiday Special?
With no guardrails, and which eventually, of course, she did. Unfortunately, she tried to kill everyone she knew while tripping out on spice creams and fell into an abyss. Ironic, she could kill all the witches, but not her sister.
I need another voice line for Palpatine.
Have you been listening, Anakin? This is a power that is exclusive to lesbian space witches and your cisgendered Jedi Knight.
And you're a cisgendered Jedi Knight. What? How can you do this? This is outrageous.
Kill all the witches, but not her sister. Have you been listening, Anakin? This is a power that is exclusive to lesbian space witches and you're a cisgendered Jedi Knight.
Is it possible to learn this power? Is it possible to learn this power?
MDW Edit says, sorry to ask, but how did you get the voice for Palpatine? Did you clone it, or did you find it on the website? Because I'm trying to find something for Anakin or Obi-Wan. The Palpatine voice is a cloned voice that I made with 11 Labs. I haven't really found any good Anakin or Obi-Wan voices that are free on any websites. There is a pretty decent Clone Wars Anakin and Obi-Wan voice on Fake You, but only the Clone Wars version, not the prequel version. So if you want a good prequel voice, you're going to have to clone it in 11 Labs, and sometimes it's very difficult to get the right voice clips. Like the Palpatine voice that I'm using right now is not from the movies. I didn't clone it from the movies. I took it from an Ian McDermott interview, and so that's why he sounds the way that he does. That's why the podcast voice works so well, because I didn't take his voice from the movies. I took it from an interview.
Is it possible to learn this power? Is it possible to learn this power?
Did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth May the Acolyte? I thought not. Of Darth May the Acolyte. I thought not. It's no story the Jedi would tell you. It's a witch legend. Darth May was a child of two lesbian space witches so powerful and so wise she could use the thread to influence the power of the many. She had such a knowledge of the thread, she could even burn down a whole stone fortress with a lantern. The thread is a pathway to many abilities, some consider to be unnatural. She became so threaded, the only thing she was afraid of was falling off walkway with no guardrails. Now, which eventually, of course, she did. Unfortunately, she tried to kill everyone she knew while tripping out on spice creams and fell into an abyss. Ironic, she could kill all the witches, but not her sister. Have you been listening, Anakin? This is a power that is exclusive to lesbian space witches and your cisgendered Jedi Knight. So of course you can't learn that power. Yeah, sure. Coming from someone who is upholding the patriarchy, that doesn't mean very much, Anakin. So of course you can't learn that power. Yeah, sure. Coming from someone who is of course you can't learn that power. Did you ever hear the tragedy?
MDW says, gotta go as I have work in the morning. I'll definitely come back in the future lives. P.S. Love your content. You're hilarious. Star Wars Theory should hear about you. I agree. He should hear about me. Thank you very much, MDW. Hopefully I will see you on the next one. Have a nice night.
You're a cisgendered Jedi Knight. So of course you can't learn that power. Listening, Anakin, this is a power that is exclusive to lesbian space witches, and you're a cisgendered Jedi Knight. So Jedi Knight. So of course you can't learn that power. Yeah, sure. Coming from someone who is upholding the patriarchy, that doesn't mean very much, Anakin.
Danikin, the Youngling Slayer, says, what happened? I was AFK. Nicholas Porter said cisgender Jedi Knight. Did I hear correctly? Yes. Just wait till you hear the full podcast.
Power that is exclusive to lesbian space witches, and you're a cisgendered Jedi Knight. So of course you can't learn that power. Yeah, sure. Coming from someone who is upholding the patriarchy, that doesn't mean very much, Anakin.
Alright. Alright, podcast number 2.
No. What? What? Is it? Is it possible to learn this power?
Did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth May the Acolyte? Did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth May the Acolyte? Acolyte.
No.
I thought not. It's no story the Jedi would tell you. It's a witch legend. Darth May was a child of 2 lesbian space witches so powerful and so wise she could use the thread to influence the power of the many. She had such a knowledge of the thread, she could even burn down a whole stone fortress with a lantern.
What?
The thread is a pathway to many abilities, some consider to be unnatural. She became so threaded, the only thing she was afraid of was falling off walkway with no guardrails. Now, which eventually, of course, she did. Unfortunately, she tried to kill everyone she knew while tripping out on spice creams and fell into an abyss. Ironic, she could kill all the witches, but not her sister.
Is it possible to learn this power?
Have you been listening, Anakin? This is a power that is exclusive to lesbian space witches, and you're a cisgendered Jedi Knight. So, of course, you can't learn that power. Did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth May the Acolyte?
No.
I thought not. It's no story the Jedi would tell you. It's a witch legend. Darth May was a child.
Nicholas Porter says this is gold. Thanks. I'm trying to see what else I can add to this. MWM says Misa back. Wait, no, Misa gotta go. See you so later, Jarder. Oh, thank you for being back and for being here today, MWM. Hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Have a nice night.
Did you ever hear it's no. I thought not. It's no story the Jedi would tell you. It's a witch legend. Darth May was a child of 2 lesbian space witches so powerful and so wise she could use the thread to influence the power of the many. She had such a knowledge of the many. She had such a knowledge of the thread. She could even.
Victoria Silver said, "Hey, that's the guy that blew up the Death Star," according to someone. Yes.
Burn down.
He did destroy the Death Star.
A whole stone fortress with a lantern.
What?
The thread is a pathway to many abilities, some considered to be unnatural. She became so threaded, the only thing she was afraid of was falling off walkway with no guardrails. Now, which eventually, of course, she did. Unfortunately, she tried to kill everyone she knew while tripping out on spice creams and fell into an abyss. Ironic, she could kill all the witches, but not.
Where's Ken? Where is it? How can you do this? Oh, here it is.
How can you be on the council and not be a master? We'll be able to capture that. And it was about you. General Grievous. You're shorter than I expected. What do you mean? What do you mean?
I'm the...
Of course.
I need your help, son.
What do you mean?
I'm depending on you.
For what? I don't understand.
To be the eyes, ears, and voice of the Republic. Anakin, I'm appointing you. You to be my personal representative on the Jedi Council.
Me?
Two lesbian space witches so powerful and so wise, she could use the thread to influence the power of the many. She had such a afraid of was falling off walkway, falling off walkway with no guardrails. Now, which eventually, of course, she did. Unfortunately, she tried to kill everyone she knew while tripping out on spice creams and fell into an abyss. Ironic, she could kill all the witches, but not her sister.
Is it possible to learn this power?
Have you been listening, Anakin? This is a power that is exclusive to lesbian space witches. And
I knew it.
Rusty Nail says this is like the Darth Plagueis speech. I love it. Yes, it is. It is like the it is like the Darth Plagueis speech.
And your cisgendered Jedi. Have you been listening, Anakin? This is a power that is exclusive to lesbian space witches. And you're a cisgendered Jedi Knight.
Do I have the full scene? I don't know if I have the full scene. Maybe it's this right here.
Forgive me, Master.
No, it's not. Okay. Oh, here it is. Oh, this is the
council
the full
does
thing.
not. I understand. What? How can you do this? How can you do this? This is outrageous. It's unfair.
Gendered Jedi Knight. And or a cisgendered Jedi Knight. So of course you can't learn that power.
It's unfair.
Yeah, sure. Coming from someone who is upholding the patriarchy, that doesn't mean very much, Anakin. This is a power that.
Evan's Reviews. Yo, what's going on? He says, I have an announcement to make. You have an announcement to make?
That is exclusive to lesbian space
What?
witches. Witches. And your space witches.
What?
I knew it.
And your cisgender.
What?
I knew it.
And you're a cisgendered Jedi Knight. So of course you can't learn that power.
It's unfair.
Yeah, sure. Coming from someone who is upholding the patriarchy, that doesn't mean very much, Anakin. Did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth May the Acolyte?
No.
I thought not. It's no story the Jedi would tell you. It's a witch legend. Darth May was a child of two lesbian space witches so powerful and so wise she could use the thread to influence the power of the many. She had such a knowledge of the thread, she could even burn down a whole stone fortress with a lantern.
What?
The thread is a pathway to many abilities, some consider to be unnatural. She became so threaded, the only thing she was afraid of was falling off walkway with no guardrails, and which eventually, of course, she did. Unfortunately, she tried to kill everyone she knew while tripping out on spice creams and fell into an abyss. Ironic, she could kill all the witches, but not her sister.
Is it possible to learn this power?
Have you been listening, Anakin? This is a power that is exclusive to lesbian space witches.
What?
I knew it.
And you're a cisgendered Jedi Knight. So, of course, you can't learn that power.
That would be the end screen part of it.
Ironic, she could kill.
Now I need podcast ending.
system. Thank you for watching that short clip of the Papa Palps podcast. If you don't mind, please smash that like button. Currently 75% of you watching are not subscribed, so if you liked what you...
What if there was a C-3PO version of Samwise Gamgee walking around with Frodo?
Heard, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon to turn on all notifications. You can also find us at Twee, Link, Jabberfy and Palawick Tunes. Thank you for watching, and as always, long live the Republic. Long live the Republic. I think it's about food space.
Did I miss something? Oh, okay. I forgot to bring these over.
Jabberfy and Palawick Tunes. Thank you for watching, and as always,
this video is almost ready.
Long live the Republic. The system. Have you...
Alright, that's good.
Always, long live the Republic.
Is it possible to learn this power?
Have you been listening, Anakin? This is a power that is exclusive to lesbian space witches.
What?
I knew it.
And you're a cisgendered Jedi Knight. So of course you can't learn that power.
It's unfair.
Yeah, sure. Coming from someone who is upholding the patriarchy, that doesn't mean very much, Anakin.
Alright. I think this is all done. Let's see. We'll start it from the beginning. I knew it.
Did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth May the Acolyte?
No.
I thought not. It's no story the Jedi would tell you. It's a witch legend. Darth May was a child of two lesbian space witches so powerful and so wise she could use the thread to influence the power of the many. She had such a knowledge of the thread, she could even burn down a whole stone fortress with a lantern.
What?
The thread is a pathway to many abilities, some consider to be unnatural. She became so threaded, the only thing she was afraid of was falling off walkway with no guardrails, and which eventually, of course, she did. Unfortunately, she tried to kill everyone she knew while tripping out on spice creams and fell into an abyss. Ironic, she could kill all the witches, but not her sister. Thank you for watching that short clip of the Papa Palps podcast. If you don't mind, please smash that like button. Currently...
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Was
what?
The thread is a pathway to many
Is it
abilities.
possible to learn
some
this
consider
power?
to be unnatural. She became so threaded, the only thing she was.
What do you mean?
Story the Jedi would tell you. It's a witch legend. Darth May was a child of two lesbian space witches so powerful and so wise she could use the thread to influence the power of the many. Lantern.
What?
Of the thread. She could even burn down a whole stone fortress with a lantern.
What?
The thread is a pathway to many abilities, some consider to be unnatural. She became so threaded, the only thing of two lesbian space witches so powerful and so wise, she of Darth May the Acolyte.
No.
I thought not. It's no story the Jedi would tell you. It's a witch legend. Darth May was a child of two lesbian space witches so powerful and so wise she could use the thread to influence the power of the many.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
She had such a knowledge of the thread. She could even burn down
Alright, I think that's finished. Okay. Alright.
Smash that like button. Currently 75% of you watching are not subscribed, so if you liked what you heard, be sure to subscribe. Subscribe and hit that bell icon to turn on all notifications. You can also find us at Twee, Link, Jabberfy and Palawick Tunes. Thank you for watching, and as always, long live the Republic.
Is it possible to...
that power?
It's unfair.
Yeah, sure. Coming from someone who is upholding the patriarchy, that doesn't mean very much, Anakin.
Alright, I think this video is finished.
Did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth May the Acolyte?
No.
I thought not. It's no story the Jedi would tell you. It's a witch legend. Darth May was a child of 2 lesbian space witches so powerful and so wise she could use the thread to influence the power of the many.
What do you mean?
She had such a knowledge of the thread, she could even burn down a whole stone fortress with a lantern.
What?
The thread is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural. She became so threaded, the only thing she was afraid of was falling off walkway with no guardrails. Now, which eventually, of course, she did. Unfortunately, she tried to kill everyone she knew while tripping out on spice creams and fell into an abyss. Ironically, she could kill all the witches, but not her sister. Thank you for watching that short clip of the Papa Palps podcast. If you don't mind, please smash that like button. Currently, 75% of you watching are not subscribed, so if you liked what you heard, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon to turn on all notifications. You can also find us at Twee, Link, Jabberfy, and Palawick Tunes. Thank you for watching, and as always, long live the Republic.
Is it possible to learn this power?
Have you been listening, Anakin? This is a power...
Is it possible to learn this power? Possible to learn this power.
Alright, this is finished. I have finished the video. Alright, exporting. Melon Playground guy says, I'm going to be copywriting hello there. Well, good luck with that. Good luck with that. I find it highly unlikely you will be able to succeed in that endeavor. If any company could have copyrighted hello there, pretty sure they would have already done it, and you would have to pay royalties every time you used the phrase hello there, and eventually nobody would say hello there to anyone because no one would want to pay royalties. The Rusty Nail X says, you're the best, Jar Jar. Thank you very much. I'm trying. I try. I do my best. And my best just keeps getting better, doesn't it? Just keeps getting better and better. But it's all thanks, it is all thanks to you, the viewer. And most especially the super chatters and the donators. More so than anybody else. Super Count Dooku, Lurdman, Alkeener. They help so much. Anyway, I think I'm going to end the stream here today. Since I finished the video, this video will release tomorrow. It will not release today. Because I try to make sure... I want to release one video per day. And so, since I already released one today, now I want to get ahead, as far ahead as I possibly can. I hope to be far ahead enough that I'll have, you know, videos scheduled for a couple weeks. That way, in the future, you know, if I want to take some time off, I can take some time off, and there's still plenty of videos to come out. But we'll see how that works, because so far I've been unsuccessful in getting ahead. I'll complete a video and then I'll be on to the next video, but the previous video, it so far hasn't worked out. But I'm trying to get there. Anyway, yes, thank you all for watching. Hope you all have a nice night. Let me check. Who is our fan funding? Our fan funding today, definitely Super Count Dooku, ATD, SO321, and Lurdman Alkeener. They gave a ton today. Thank you very much to them. They are the best. And thank you, Melon Playground Guy, Rusty Nail, Evans Reviews, MWM Productions, Nicholas Porter, Django Fett Clone, Danikin Youngling Slayer. If not for the consistent viewers, chat would be dead. And I appreciate your contribution. Even if you can't give anything, just being able to talk with people in the chat is appreciated. Rusty Nail X says, if I was a girl, I'd definitely date you, Jar Jar. Thank you, I appreciate it. Alright, well, on that note, we're all going to go to bed. Good night, everyone. Thank you for being here. And I should be... yeah, I should be on tomorrow. Should be streaming tomorrow. So, tune in tomorrow if you want to see me again. Hopefully I'll see you then. Adios.